Oh my god. It's a train that does not stop. Should I rephrase it as a horror train? Are you ready? Day 4, 31 Days of Dread, only on the Dream Warriors podcast. And tonight, I'm seeing Venom. But first, we're going to talk about the Devil's Candy. So let's go. Hey everyone, thanks for joining me. I'm Peter, also known as AKAPAD. I think I messed that up. It's Peter A. DeLuca, AKAPAD, another known as Peter A. DeLuca. That's where you can find me on just about every single social media network. For example, Snapchat, Twitter, website, AKAPAD. That would be akapad.com for the site. On Instagram, akapad13, where I'm going through. You guys want to know about something horrible, disgusting, that is tough and grinding? I'm going through Inktober with a little bit of a tough theme, because I'm choosing the Batman villains, the foes of the Dark Knight, and I'm adding one villain per prompt per day. So I'm doing that, and I'm doing this. I'm working a 9 to 5. I'm seeing Venom tonight. It is nothing but busy. And sorry, I just had a drink. Morning drink call. It's Red Bull from a mug. And if you're hearing a little bit of an echo, that's what I was just about to jump into. Is we're dealing with an echo because I'm talking to you from a complimentary apartment provided to me by the production of 17 Bridges. It's a major movie being shot right now in Philly. It stars Chadwick Boseman, Selena Miller, J.K. Simmons, and I'm sure a few other people that I'm just forgetting right now. It's directed by some Game of Thrones alumni, and I'm pretty sure I met the director yesterday because they're shooting this giant Hollywood movie where I live. There's 100 people inside and outside the building. It is all day, all night, endless. And I find it very annoying because I got things to do because I'm a busy guy and these people are nothing but in my way. But yeah, so anyway, it's still a little bit of fun. But they put me up in this room. Thank God it has good lighting. Thank God it's very new. It's very sleek. Very exciting to be here for a little bit. And I'm grateful that they got me a decent spot though. So this is where we're recording from, and yeah. So I'm sorry if the audio isn't as perfect. It's not to my liking, but it's somewhere. But anyway, just give me 1 second. I need a little bit more of this Red Bull. So to get into the 31 Days of Dread. The 31 Days of Dread is one horror movie a day for the entire month of October in celebration of Halloween. It is now an annual theme event. It's an annual event that we'll say by Dream Warriors podcast, hosted and presented by yours truly. And yeah, so it's a lot of fun. The 31 Days of Dread is nothing but grinding because you I went into it with ideas, with things I wanted to discuss. Last year I decided to do it practically on October 1st. This year I had a good lead in and was able to stockpile some movies through my notes and mentally that I knew I wanted to discuss, or ones I knew I could discuss. And yeah, that's a little bit where we are now. We're talking about The Devil's Candy. It's available on Netflix. It's starring Ethan and Embry. Ethan Embry. I'm saying everything twice this morning, so I don't know why. Maybe his best known work is from Can't Hardly Wait, the teen angst comedy drama. It's a dramedy. And it is that's one of my all-time favorite movies. I think that's one of the best high school movies. Obviously, it was made as a nod to John Hughes and everything regarding Ferris Bueller's Day Off, what's the one of that? The Breakfast Club, total brain fart there. Pretty in Pink. It goes on and on. Not really. I'm forgetting one more for him. Oh, why can't I think of it? Oh, not something special. Oh, I forget that one. What was that? With Eric Stoltz. I'm forgetting that movie with Eric Stoltz. But keep in mind too, during the time of Breakfast Club, there was nothing but movies just like Breakfast Club rolling into theaters. Even with really good themes and subject matters, and I'm pointing at you, Vision Quest with Matthew Modine, All the Right Moves with Tom Cruise. Like it's a long list. So it's not even that Can't Hardly Wait was one of the first. Can't Hardly Wait was from a director and a writer that grew up watching those movies, obviously, and they were in a position. Our closest and newest entry into that genre, I would say, when it just comes to like angsty 80s driven ish teen dramedies, would be the I'm forgetting the name of it. Hold up here. I'm gonna have to look it up real quick, everyone. I hate this. It stars Topher Grace. I may have seen it only one time, and oh jeez, I forgot he was in Interstellar. I am babbling here. So IMDb kind of sucks sometimes, because sometimes you just want to see the movies. Take Me Home Tonight. That's Take Me Home Tonight came out in 2011. That's like your most recent entry into the Breakfast Club line, and I back Take Me Home Tonight. It has a great cocaine scene. That's all you really need to put into a movie from my perspective. If you have a solid cocaine scene, sign me up. I'm ready to go. But yeah, so last installment of the 31 Days of Dread, we did The Curse, starring Will Wheaton, who became probably one of the best child performances I've ever seen. Him being so young, being able to carry that movie, it's nothing less than phenomenal. But yeah, and that movie was long on my list. That probably since I was a kid, I wanted to see that movie, and I was so happy to finally see it, and so terribly, terribly upset just how much that movie didn't click. I'm kind of at the same realm with Devil's Candy. There's a side of me that wants to kind of drill really like deep into it, but I don't know like how far we can go into this movie. And the reason I was so amped, and we have it, I would love to play the audio, but we're just not that organized on Dream Warriors. But Mark suggested this movie to me. He was very excited when he saw it. I remember him texting me to see this movie. He's also very much about the Train to Busan. It's a South Korean zombie movie, which I'm just about done with zombie movies in general. But he gets very enthusiastic, and it is kinetic. Like when someone gets excited for a movie, and you kind of know that you have a similar taste, it's just fun. It's fun to have that person amp you up, and you go into something and you kind of already have an idea for them. Which that's always the danger of expressing your opinions to people, because it clings to them, it jumps and it sticks on them. So for some reason, it just lined up. It lined up that I was ready to watch the movie. And to give you a little bit of insight, I do not like the 31 Days of Dread. Pun intended, I think it's dreadful. Watching horror movies at a high capacity, at a high clip, messes with your brain. It messes with your reason it kind of bums you out, and some of the movies, I would say like it kind of more or less messes with your subconscious, because you like you kind of go if you're continuously fed something, I feel like you take away from it. And the 31 Days of Dread is taxing, because it's hard for me to get excited to watch a ton of horror movies. To watch 31 horror movies. But everything lined up. And I was feeling good. I wanted to watch it. I was so excited when I put it on. And look, this is another movie too. Like the technical merits kind of outweigh its delivery. And that's the point. Like it's always like a thumbs up or a thumbs down. It's a go or no go. I would more or less pitch this movie as a no go. And I'm so curious about Mark's mindset on really why he was drawn to this movie. I really do think it's he identified with Ethan Embry's character more than anything within the movie. I think he ignored some of the almost like the movie's not tonally off. It's not inconsistent. It's not any of these other platitudes. The movie's just flat out not interesting. Like, period. And I know a lot of people have this point of view about movies like The House of the Devil, The Babadook. I've even heard similar things about Hereditary. And sometimes it is bad reviews, it's bad ideas. That's the internet review age that we're living in. It's kind of tough to get solid conversation, non-shill takes on movies. It's really tough. But this movie delivers on everything: acting, casting, cinematography, tone, intent. Throughout the movie too, it has these really cool like little vignettes, these little videos on like the devil. And to get into the plot, should we discuss the plot real quick? The plot's nothing too crazy. Couple buy a house. The one guy's an artist, Ethan Embry, and he starts doing a painting, and you kind of maybe have this idea that something happened in the house, and the devil's talking to him, and he can't do a painting without making it look weird. And then we have this other character who's the devil's talking to, and he wants the devil's candy, which is the soul of a child. And here we go. So it's a limited cast movie that, and it boils up to this point where the house is burning. Ethan Embry needs to murder a guy with a guitar to save his daughter. And that's about it. Now, the movie has death, but none of the death is strictly jarring, shocking. It doesn't stick with you. There's no bone tomahawk death in this movie. I was expecting that. I was hoping, because you kind of want that from a horror movie. You want things to be, you want things to stick with you. You do want to be shocked, okay? And look, I get it. It's harder and harder to do it, but hey, be creative. Like, get me shook. So, how can the movie not work when all of the outside elements flow? It really comes to the hook, like the point of the movie, and how we're getting there. Now, previously with The Curse, one of my criticisms was that it was hard to know where you were as an audience member as that movie crawled on, meaning that you didn't know how to feel at certain times. This movie doesn't do that. You know how to feel every single scene. So it strictly comes down to how we're weaving the take of the devil this time, weaving the mythology. Doubt that we're casting, meaning, is this stuff really happening? Is it in the heads of the characters? Is it, maybe like a little Rosemary's Baby, and those are the takes. Those are the hooks that I'm talking about. You have to go in as a as a creative entity and say, look, we have a hook for the devil. We have a hook for how this guy's possessed. He's going to be acting this certain way, doing these certain things for these reasons. We have Ethan Embry. He's going to get possessed, and his work, his livelihood, his contracts, his clients are all going to be at risk, and they're going to deal with it this way, and he's going to he's going to be self-aware, and he's going to try and fight it, and he's going to be compelled to paint, and then he's not going to be, and then he's going to be up all night and not eating, and there's all these things, and some of those things they portrayed, but again, it doesn't swing for the fences, it doesn't commit to its bit, and it could be a little bit tougher. It could be a little bit tougher in the red zone. It could punch that ball into 6 points. Come on, let's go, team. And that to me, that was what took me out of it. I just strictly was not interested in this movie by any means. There was no desire for me to watch it again. I do clap for Ethan Embry's amazing physique in this movie. If he doesn't earn a higher role, I mean, the movie already has been out for a while. I don't know if he retired from acting or not. I thought he did, but I don't know how he's not in more visually driven movies after this. I mean, with that, like he did a Ryan Reynolds turnaround that no one discussed, and he deserves all the accolade for it. I mean, put him in a superhero movie. Put him in something that's, I would say body driven. That's model driven, because he's 100% there. And the way that he's like shredded up, bulk him up. Because he still has a little bit of a big head syndrome. But yeah, and it just sucks, because I was so convinced this movie was going to connect with me, that this would be one of those like kind of lower budget, but I like low cast. I like horror movies that only have a few characters. Like it's a big concept, it has a good hook, it's a few characters, and then like we're off to the races. That's your very simpler like triangle, your pyramid, so to speak, of producing good horror. Okay, you need a good concept, a good hook, and limited characters, A, B, and C. So, but yeah, I just have to say it. I need to rewatch this movie though, and to sit down with Mark and discuss it. I'm sorry. Maybe. And side note, Mark is back in the picture. He texted me earlier today. I love waking up and get a series of morning texts from anyone, even if it's like I even like it more when it's multiple people, but kind of things to do, things to get to, and he's requesting that we potentially sit down this weekend. So I'm going to try and make that happen 100%. So we might do, I'm getting this idea as I'm talking to you, but what if we did a Devil's Candy retro? Like, we're already going to retro the review, or re-review, so to speak. Shout out to Red Letter Media. And I'm going to maybe watch this movie again. Maybe have him watch it. Maybe we'll watch it together, and then we're going to sit down and discuss this movie. One being pro and one being against. Like, that's the long-form nuance. That's the long-form conversation that I really feel like makes Dream Warriors as unique as it is. Because like, who really does that? Who really drills that deep into the Devil's Candy? I will say, look, Sean Bryan, he's the director. He made another movie that supposedly was good, but he's only made about 2 movies. The guy is talented. He knows how to put together a production. He definitely knows how to shoot. It's hard to take that away from him. He is a very skilled atmospheric director, meaning that every frame looks like a painting. You can take any frame from this movie and hang it on your wall. Okay, with exception. Okay, I gotta say it with that, because someone out there would be like, "But you said It's like, yes, there's a little bit of gravitas to my tone right now, if you weren't able to pick that up. Well, I think I'm just going to jump ship. We're going to call it a day. If you go to akapad.com, you can find ways to support me through Etsy, through my Patreon. Support original content, support what I'm doing here, because it does help. There's all kinds of expenses, even when when you're doing this on the level that I'm doing it. But hey, I love you all, and if you guys can do me one favor, just have a random energy drink today. I know people tell you they're bad for you, but it's good to have a reason to drink an energy drink. And the reason is because that means you're doing things, and you're being productive, and you don't have to sleep. So be productive, stay up and do work, don't sleep, the hell with the balance, and rock and roll. Let's be productive and do amazing things. I love you, everyone. Have a great day, and thank you for tuning in. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, okay, we're back. We're here. Well, wasn't that cute? Hey, everyone out there, you. Thanks for joining me. Should we just go through a little bit of introduction, let you know who I am and what we're doing? Sure. All right, y'all. Thanks for joining in. I'm Peter. I am your Dream Warriors host. I'm your horror movie guide for the 31 Days of Dread.